All right, here we go. Nick Cannon.
Yeah, we back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
The last one, ruffle some feathers.
Always, man, because the truth will always ruffle feathers.
That's what it is. That's what we do here on Vlad TV. We tell the truth.
Absolutely.
You have a new app that you're working on. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I have the Consent app. It's an amazing concept from what we were talking about earlier. And it's funny, like when you hear the Consent app, you think like it's to protect men. And you think, oh, you got people like, man, you about to sell this to the NBA, the NFL, you about to make all kind of money. That's not why I created it. Now it's consent, it's CNCNT. That's how you actually spell it. Like, and it stands for consensual and contractual and tested. So it's actually the C, C, and the T is to make sure, it's actually to protect women. And that idea, because women are getting put in these very uncompromising situations. So imagine if you had an app with, whether it's some eye sensor recognition or something where you say, this is me and I am having consensual sex with this other person, and I understand their history. I understand that our level of intoxication, and therefore we can operate. So it's protecting yourself the same way you put on a condom. I'm gonna push this button on my phone. You push the button on your phone, and it's consensual. And and it's so many things like your consent history. How many people have you consented with, and at what point did you do this? And it's like a Carfax for like your sexual life. So we've broken it down, and I have all my lawyers on it to where they've built the paperwork. So this stuff will stand up in court to protect women, as well as to protect men, to protect anybody that's engaging in sex.
All right, because it's funny because after you mentioned this to me, about a week ago or so, when we were talking, the new episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm came out.
Right.
Did you watch it?
I didn't see it. It's the same.
It's the same. Well, he tried to pull. Well, there was a whole thing about a girl he was dating was basically talking a bunch of shit about dudes she slept with.
Oh, right.
So he tried to pull out some paperwork
right
when they were about to fuck,
right,
saying if you could just sign this saying that you will not make any disparaging remarks about me. And
NDA. But that's the thing.
And she said, fuck this shit, and stormed out.
But that's the thing, like, and because the way our consent app is set up, it's actually surveys to ask questions. It's actually kind of fun when you think about it, because it's always those uncomfortable questions that you don't want to ask, like how many people you fuck. Yeah. Do you always use protection?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
what have you gotten tested?
Yeah. When's the last time you got tested? Yeah. This is all in a survey, and through the survey you be like, boo, do you want to have anal sex? My shit would be hell no. But some people are into that, and that's like even on that Kobe shit or something. Like the chick he was with had consensual sex, but then from what I heard, it was he wanted to put it in another hole and she wasn't with it. Like those are certain kind of conversations that are in the heat of the moment. You don't really have those conversations. And then so this person's interpretation of what went down is different from this person's interpretation. And now you guys are in court and it's your word against their word. So, but if I got an app that says, I checked all of this, and in that moment, this is what we was with. You saw it, I opened it, I unlocked it. She didn't do nothing against her will, I didn't do nothing against my will. I hit the button, she hit the button, and we got to fucking. Like, it's simple as that. And it's the same way when you think a condom. That's a brilliant idea. You're gonna protect yourself. This app, it's a brilliant idea. It's digital, it's a digital condom.
A digital condom.
A digital condom. And it's protecting. You can, once you hit that consent button, I ain't got to worry about if she gonna go run and say some shit. She's not gonna have to worry about if he's gonna go and say this never happened, or if she contracted something. Like it's chicks out there that's saying like they got sexually transmitted diseases because this person didn't do. I wanted to use a condom. And we didn't. Or he didn't tell me that he did this and it. Like, it's all in the consent app, and it's protecting women first and foremost, and then making sure that we are law-abiding citizens during these sexual interactions.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know anyone that really wants to put their body count on an app.
See, but it's all private. You ain't got to be like, yeah, I got 65, bitch. It's all private. But you have all your information. You have your.
And they can't check it?
No, they can't. It's almost like if you know your wins and losses and you keep track of it. Now, if you choose to share that, That's up to you. That's
Okay,
the
so she
same
could
conversation
say-
of how many people, if you about to get married, how many people you fucked? Or how many people you fucked? Oh, damn, I can't remember. You know what? Let me check my consent history. If I'm proud of my shit, I'll tell you. If not, oh, this shit ain't opening the way I cleared my consent history last year. You can say what you, but you personally have access. It's like knowing your own analytics. You know what I mean? Like, you have your own statistics, and if you want to share it, you can share it or not. But based off of the way we have it designed, only thing that's exchanged from my phone to your phone is the one sheet of, once we took this survey, once we said these are the things that we're willing to do, that exchanged.
I mean, people are gonna murder you over this. You know that, right?
Hey,
people are gonna have a field day.
Consent. Have a field day. Download the app. It's going down.
Is it out yet or no?
It's not. We're developing it. I got, like, it's people like thought it was brilliant. Like, I had all of these different people trying to come and invest with me, and we got it all in order. But they always say, there's a big problem out there. When you find a solution to a big problem, you'll be a billionaire.
This is true. This is true.
Found a solution to a big problem.
You know,
Come on, Vlad.
I mean,
I found a solution. The consent app.
the consent app.
CNCNT. It's going down.
I mean, listen. Like I heard, you know, I read an article where it said that in the future, no one will ever have children naturally. You know, that in vitro will be standard across the board just because how much safer it is.
Wow.
Than having natural sex.
Wow.
Because you could check for certain diseases.
You can design your child.
You could design your
That's
child.
scary.
You could create.
That's some AI shit.
Yeah, you can create. You know, you could choose the sex.
Yeah, how tall they are.
Well, you can't do that yet.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where it's going.
That's where it's going. But
then you're genetically
I
designing
think more
it.
importantly, though, if you know that this embryo has Down syndrome,
Right.
you could toss the embryo out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could. You know what I'm
That's
saying? 'Cause
unfortunate, but yeah.
no one wants to have a mentally retarded child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll love the child if that's what
course,
happens.
if that's how the
But
universe
if you
put
have
it
a
out there.
choice, no one wants to have a hermaphrodite child ahead of time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But see,
Like,
then the lines get really blurry and scary because
It
then
does.
it's like,
It
then
does.
you get to pick what type of child you want. Now you playing God. Now you taking what the universe designed and you messing with
You
it.
could say that about medicine in general, though. You know what I mean?
could.
Like,
You could.
you were supposed to die. You know, why'd you
Yeah.
take that antibiotic?
That's true.
God didn't want you to take the antibiotic. God wanted you to die.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Bad
true.
cold.
But again, and I'm about to get on my weird cosmic shit. That's because we don't understand that our spirits are greater than our physical form. And therefore that the transition of living and dying isn't the beginning or the end as we've been taught. So therefore, if I get to design my shell, I'm fine with that. The spirit is still going to be the same.
I feel you. I mean, you know.
It's just an exterior. Whatever this paint job is, whatever my abilities are, all the upgrades and attributes that my vehicle possesses, that's not who's really driving the vehicle.
I read this one thing that said, what if at the moment that you die, you're actually being born into another body and you're screaming because you realize that you have to start all over again. Everything you've just done all this time is just thrown.
Yo, that shit is brilliant. Because that's probably so true. Like, that is so true. Like, nah, I thought I was going somewhere else.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta start
amazing.
all over again.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
Nah, it's true, man. And life is an interesting thing. Or what we call life is an interesting thing.
Yeah, man. Recently, we did an interview with D. Ray Davis.
Okay.
And it kind of went viral and upset a lot of people.
Really?
I'm gonna play it for you.
All right.
I've been, as a young guy, my mother's friends my mother was involved in a lot of stuff, but I've had older women who thought I wasn't being parented correctly, slightly try to take advantage of me, and not slightly, have taken advantage of
But
me.
you lost your virginity to two 30-year-olds
Yeah,
at the same time?
yeah, two ugly, horrible looking women.
And you were
What was I?
you were how old?
11.
11.
Going to 12, I had no hair on me.
And people got mad about his story.
Well, people, number one, people got a little mad at me laughing about it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But, And when we talked about that later on in the interview, saying, yeah, I'm laughing, because you're kind of making a joke out of it. But
Right.
if this was a girl talking about being 11, losing to two 30-year-old men,
Yeah.
it'd be a very different kind of situation.
100%. Like, I mean, even in my stand-up, I talk about that a lot too, because we always, like, we think it's cool, like, if you get with one of your teachers and you a dude.
Right.
Like, that's every kid's dream. Every, like,
Yeah.
male ninth grader's dream
Oh, yeah,
is
there's
one
a
of
few
them
teachers
teachers.
I want to smash. In high
Absolutely.
school,
And we
even
all had a
junior
little
high.
situation
Yeah.
where as a teacher's aide or she might be fresh out or, like, all of that. But in theory, it's if we're talking about, equality and everything, like it's just as much of a crime regardless of gender. And then but again, when you put the male machismo and the testosterone in it, there's another thing I talk about in stand-up where I was like, dudes, they feel like the younger you are when you lose your virginity, the more manly you are. Like, nigga, shoot, I've been fucking since I was 4. Like, no, nigga, that's molestation.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, we always want to be, I was 11, I was 12. And we almost wear like a badge of honor, but when really, like, those are children and they shouldn't be involved in sexual activities at all.
Well, you were 13.
Yeah, I was young.
And I guess the girl was 15?
Yeah, and like we was in the same age group, and mentally I was probably beyond her years, but again, I was bragging, trying to show that I had been out here fucking, and I hadn't been, and I was lying, and I come up, in the church, and I felt like I let everybody down, but ultimately my ego was the one that was being served.
13 is kind of young.
Yeah. I mean, it's 13 is young, but I was in my neighborhood. I was a late bloomer, or so they said. Everybody else had, but if you was in the 8th grade and you wasn't fucking yet, like you was a square, and girls and guys, and that's it's unfortunate. And that's why, like, being a father now, you be like, I don't even want to think about my daughter having sex in 5 to 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not ready for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go do 20 and sit down gladly. Like, I had a great career, great life. I don't want to see that for my children, but I was in it. You know what I mean? Like, and to know that it's only progressed when it comes to what children are exposed to and even how they process it. It's deep, man. And all we can do is hope to be the best parents that we can possibly do and guide them that they make the best decisions.
Well, and this takes me into kind of my next question is what's happening in Hollywood right now?
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's out of control. But
you've been in Hollywood for how long have you been working in Hollywood now?
I've been working in Hollywood since, like, seriously, since 96. You know what I mean? So,
21 years.
Yeah. So that's when I used to, standing outside the comedy stores, improvs, living on the street, like sleeping on couches, driving back and forth on the freeway. Still in high school, but like I've been out here on that grind, auditioning, all that since 96.
Okay. So you've seen Hollywood for a very long time.
Yeah.
Number one, is the casting couch a real thing?
The casting couch is absolutely a real thing. I mean, if you and let's take it all the way back to the days of the actual Warner Brothers and Samuel Golden and like even when you think about movies and stuff with like Orson Welles and like that's what all of that Rosebud and all of that shit is going all the way back to the origins of Hollywood. Actresses would make deals at studios. That's how you made a movie. Like Warner Brothers would make a deal with an actress. Such would make a deal with Samuel Gold or Universal, and you would only be in their movies. And you would make a deal with the head of the studio who was having sex with the actresses. Like that's how it's stories of like old Hollywood. So it's always been that way. So one, we got to charge it to them because they designed it. But then today, it's a paradigm shift that I'm actually pleased is going down because it's another civil rights movement in that sense to where things have to change and that shift has to occur so that we can all grow.
I had Michael Rappaport here recently.
Yeah.
Right? And he's been acting
forever.
Yeah. A bit longer than you.
Yeah.
I think maybe 5 years longer than you. Since about 91 or whenever Zebrahead came out. And he said something really interesting. Have you taken acting classes or acting coaches? Nothing.
No.
No, you've been winging it ever since.
There's no winging it. I know what I'm doing. I knew what I was doing then. I didn't know. I was an instinctive actor at the time. I still go off instinct, but I've done it so much. You know, you have everybody has their own approach. There is no, you know, it's not like, you know, basketball where you work on your layups, you work on your jump shots, you work on your free throws, you work on your handle. It's a different.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different thing. Everybody has their own thing. You know, acting is funny, and actors don't like to talk about their acting. It's sort of like, I feel like a lot of them think it's like magicians telling their tricks.
Acting is about being. I always say all of them fucking classes and courses and shit, that's a hustle. They finessing you. You know what I mean? And like rightly so. If I ain't booking movies, I'm gonna go start a school. You know what I mean? They said those who can't do, teach. And I'm not mad at the hustle. And people are like, should I take acting classes? Like, no, whatever money you was gonna invest in that acting class, take that exact same money and go do a short film that you produce, that get your art out of you. Now, one thing I would say those classes and those courses are good for is to weed out the bullshit. Because if you're willing to put up your money, that means you're willing to make the first step. You know what I mean? So, and if you find out that you ain't really built for it, you'll find out in those type of classes. Because they're going to make you do all of this goofy shit, like mouth exercises and improv. Like, that shit is all stupid.
So you've never taken a class?
Never. Like, I was a kid who's like, ooh, like, you'll meet an agent who's hustling you and say, yeah, you know what? If you're going to work with me, I think you should go take this class. Because he's getting a kickback from that class because he's referring everyone. That's what they don't like to tell people no. So what agents do, they meet with 50 people a day who want to be represented by them. But instead of telling this person, no, you suck, you're not a fucking actor, they say, you know what? You're not ready yet. Go to this class and then pay them their money that I'm getting 20% of. And then by that time, that class is going to discourage you and you'll never come back to that agent's office again.
Wow, the underbelly of Hollywood.
The hustle.
Here. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So essentially, you're telling me the people who become actors really just work their way into it.
They live it.
However way, they live it. So
James Dean shit. So
right, exactly. So when it comes to the top actresses out there, are they really picking them based on the skill level, or are you saying that the executives are picking the ones they get to sleep with, or the ones they get along with?
Hollywood life in general is all about relationships.
Okay.
It's who you know and how well you know them. Or what dirt you know on them. You know what I mean? When you really get to it's like, and the way, and it's unfortunate because, and that's why me personally, I actually go out and try to find new talent because I don't like the bullshit of Hollywood or the music industry. The music industry is the same way. You can be the most talented person in music. If you don't know somebody who controls one of them button pushers, it's not gonna pop for you but that's actually what I love about music because it's been a paradigm shift in the worlds of SoundCloud and digital to where you can make a lot of noise and get the right folks' attention, but you still ain't gonna be popping until one of them button pushers say, I'm fucking with him. Yeah. Until one of these majors come in, like, and even, we got the beautiful things from, the 300s, the empires, these people who are hustling and doing it themselves, but they're still controlled by the real system.
Right.
And that's the thing, like, they want to make even independent music, even independent acting and all that stuff, it's still controlled by the major system.
Okay. So you have a situation where people are getting picked.
Yeah.
Because I thought of it, from a business standpoint, right?
Yep.
As a business owner, and I've been a business owner most of my life.
Right.
I have never even considered messing around with a female employee because I feel that it would be too disastrous to my system. So I never even
you ain't got 17 beautiful women coming in every hour selling sex. Because let's not get it twisted. Whether it's an actress, a model, a spokesperson, the idea of advertising and marketing is beauty. Beauty there, when you break beauty down, is part of sexuality. So at the end of the day, you are striking energies and chords and chakras that are turning you on. And so therefore, it's kind of fucked up when you think about entertainment, especially when part of it is beauty. it's an uncomfortable situation already. It's literally a cattle call, which is horrible. You have women coming in and presenting themselves saying, hire me. That's horrible. You know what I mean? Like, starting from the basis of how we do this. Like, and that's why I say you got to go to the origin of the problem. Because I guarantee you, every woman, every actress has a story where she was mistreated or had to deal with sexual misconduct. And how she's dealt with it, some internalize it, some speak on it. But I guarantee you, man, like I've seen it myself to where it's like, man, that's horrible. But we're at this time where they speaking up, and it's a beautiful thing.
Like, what have you seen?
Man, I mean, I've heard all of the stories, but it's like when you see these men in power, in the positions of power, and even when I find myself in one, when you have so much power, it comes much responsibility. I mean, it sounds very superhero-like, but it's real. So when you're in this position to change people's lives, and you hold the keys to what they consider success, you see a different aspect of the person. People will do anything to achieve their goals, and then people will manipulate and misuse that energy to get what they want. So you see a man in power, like, it's a lot of, and then like even like that freaky weird pedophile shit that be going on, like, you hear about it, but it's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on. And people manipulate young women, they manipulate kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some shit where you be like, that's just not right. Like, that's just, that person shouldn't be talking to that person. That person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. That person shouldn't, but on the other side, what I've also seen is some very innocent situations get turned into things that have nothing to do with the person or the position in power, but because it was manipulated from the other side, it made someone who was just trying to operate within the system look bad. I mean, like I said, like, I've been part of lawsuits where I wasn't even in the same city, but because it was an event that I sponsored, or it was a movie or TV project that I was producing, they utilized my name to get a check. And because I don't want to play with that, you know what I mean? It's horrible, but it's certain law firms that are built on, it's like crash collision law firms. There's like sexual misconduct law firms.
Lisa Bloom.
Right. If you felt like somebody did you wrong, call Lisa Bloom. Call, you know,
She'll have a press conference.
Yeah, it's gonna be, she's gonna
TMZ.
stand there, you're gonna look, and we don't know the story. And the bad part, and I have many friends, many people I've dealt with, an accusation can ruin your career. Like, cause what I'm supposed to say? That bitch lying. No, you can't say that, even if she is, because that is another form of male machismo,
victim shaming.
Yeah, you like, or even that idea is like, how can, even if you're being lied on, because we're gonna give you a reaction, and that reaction, you're gonna say, I apologize that she's accusing me of this. I don't want no parts of it. So even when stuff comes, I'm like, yo, I tell all my employees, I tell everybody, like, keep all that personal fuck shit outside. And if it comes into play to where you can't, that's what I'm saying. One thing you cannot do, you cannot tell a woman, I'll give you a job if you go out on a date with me. Yeah. Even as simple as that concept may be in any form, you can't say, I need to get to know you better. We got to go get a drink before I can hire you. That, you sued automatically. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's shit like that, to where you got to be careful how you approach somebody. You got to be careful on how you, I was like, at this day, I'm high-fiving bitches all day long. I'm not hugging. What up, girl?
Close picture.
How you doing?
I feel you.
Because in that sense, you don't know, you're vulnerable as a person in position, because they could shoot shots at you all day long. And that's, to me, like, I'm a person who lives my truth, so I don't fear anything, and I don't chase women and do that type of stuff, because that's just not my character. I love women, and everybody knows I believe women are gods, and that's how I have a reverence and I revere them in that sense. So I'm probably a little bit more respectful, even in you in an environment where respect usually isn't going down. But like I've been on video shoots. I think Superhead was in a couple of my videos. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Corinne.
So and you read her books, like
I mean, I've interviewed her. I know.
yeah, like there'd be times where she'd be over there getting money. You know what I'm saying? And it's
You're
like,
telling me Superhead would be fucking on your sets.
that's what like that's what them trailers and them things like. I'm gonna say it, she wasn't doing that on my sets, but
Sets that you were working on.
sets that I had been to.
Okay, got it.
but that's the game. Like, imagine if everything that's going on in Hollywood started to shift over to the hip hop world. Think about the people that could be accused.
It just did, right? With Russell Simmons.
Right.
It just did.
The Godfather. And again,
Benny Medina. I mean, not exactly hip hop, but definitely hip hop. You know, Fresh
LA?
Prince of Bel-Air.
L.A.
Reid.
Like it's,
you know, the guy behind Outkast. Like, it's already in hip hop.
and it's so weird that, especially when they accuse a black man, you know, going all the way to you know, Dr. William Cosby. It's people get you've added another layer, because now a system which these men have struggled through and risen to the top has another niche in it, has another chink in the armor, and now you really don't know how to approach it, because, you know, you got a lot of these cats start as criminals in the game. They ain't, you know, they been about it, and we talk about it in our lyrics. We talk about, so at what point are you blurring that line of fiction and what you're actually doing? If I'm in a music video and I got 40 naked women on a bed with me, or if I'm in a strip club and I'm throwing money and I'm calling them bitches and hoes, what does that say about my character? Especially if then one of those women step up and say something, and I'm in court now.
With the video.
With me calling her all kind of bitches and hands all on her, and then she said I did something inappropriate. She good. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a blur, it's a scary blurred line. But it's a necessary blurred line, because now we have to define what our women truly mean to us.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's a scary
I think,
time.
you know, but change is always uncomfortable.
Change is always uncomfortable.
You know?
And change is always growth.
Yeah, you
so
know?
and what you notice, whether these are well constructed press releases, but every time one of these men are getting in trouble, they come out as like, I'm growing, I'm learning, I apologize, I've done some things in my past. Like, I don't know what 21, 19-year-old Nick Cannon was doing. Like, we was doing some wild shit as kids, but that's what we always did. And like, you have to question, like, who you were 20 years ago, who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Hopefully you're a better person than that. And how these accusations are coming out against these people, you know, a wrong is a wrong. You know, my mother always taught me, what goes on in the dark shall come to light. And that's allowed me to live my truth and be like, I don't want to do something that I got to be ashamed of, or that's going to shame my family. So, you know, I've done plenty of things in my life that I'm not proud of, but I've never done anything that I regret. I've never done anything that I can't say, yeah, I did. I did that, and I wish I didn't do that. So, and that's me at this point right now. You know what I mean? I've like I said, I have so much respect for women on a godly level that I'm and being a father now too, and you got daughters, you understand that energy in a different way. Now, again, like I said, I don't chase women, but if they chasing me, I'm there all day. You know, but that even in that sense, like I've heard stuff about, you know, certain politicians and certain OG entertainers that, you know, they make you do everything. I mean, it's funny. I got a line, and I remember when I wrote Gigolo back in the day. I was like, last thing I need is lawsuits. All I did is call you. Initiated first move, shorty, that was all you. Like, I was literally saying at, you know, however old I was, 20 years old, saying like, you have to initiate the first move. Like, all I'm going to do is make a phone call. You got to show up. You got to come in. You got to say, you're here. You kiss me first. You take my clothes off. And I'm like, all right, now we can get it cracking.
Speaking of Gigolo, that featured R. Kelly.
Yes, it did.
And R. Kelly before all the Hollywood accusations came
He
out,
been-
R.
he's
Kelly
been
was going
accusing
through the
R.
ringer.
Kelly since born to the 90s days. And it's funny because I've gotten in plenty of trouble. I ain't in trouble because I don't really give a fuck. But people have came at me constantly for not disowning R. Kelly or making light of the situation.
How close are you guys?
Close enough. I respect R. Kelly as an artist tremendously.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I consider him a genius.
Yep.
I ain't talked to R. Kelly in years, but the last time, like I'm the type of person when somebody is down and they need help, I don't run the other way. I'm called like, dog, you good? You check. I know you might have done some fuck shit. I'm just calling and checking on your human right now. Like, and I've made those calls to him and say, like, if you need something, you need a prayer partner, you need somebody to help you get through this and meditate. I feel like I'm that guy. I never turn my back on nobody. I'm a solid individual. I don't care. And I'm gonna tell you how I came up with that concept, man. Like, I got family members, people that are near and dear to me, that have created some, and been a part of some heinous crimes, and my mind, like, when your brother, your uncle, your father, or any of those people have done something, do you turn your back on them? If your pops murdered somebody out of cold blood, your pops did something that, and they served their time or whatever it is, is that no longer your father? Is that no longer your uncle? If your uncle touched your cousin, how do you deal with that? This was my favorite uncle, but he fucked around and did something with my cousin?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be cool with my uncle after that.
That's your uncle, dog. That's the dog who he said he rocking with you.
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna answer the question.
Can't rock with the child molesters. You
So,
know what I mean?
so
We're not homies anymore.
No, because
after
you know
that.
what that's a sickness. That's a spirit.
Is it?
100%.
Is it? Or is it just sexual repression?
Even that, I believe that's a spirit. I believe
Or
perversion.
are you just not? You know what I'm saying? Are you just not getting women your own age or of legal age?
Because I would do. Are we talking
And-
about? Sometimes it's little boys. And if we want to go into Hollywood and all that stuff.
Once again,
Yeah.
Sexual repression in the Catholic
And that's
Church
again, that's
and
what I
stuff like
choose to
that.
believe and how I believe that universe works. I
I
believe
think-
there's
I
dark
think-
spirits that come over people, and I think you can get that shit out of them.
Some people are into little kids. I think the bigger problem is that, I think a lot of men, are just sexually repressed and end up getting at kids because they're easy. You know what I'm saying? Which is really fucked up and weak.
And that may be the R. Kelly syndrome of it all. Like it's you don't have again, women are gods and they're so sophisticated that they ain't gonna put up with some bullshit. So you might be able to. A woman who looks sophisticated but she's younger, she's gonna be easy for you to pop at than a grown ass woman who done been through some bullshit. So
But an 18-year-old always gonna be more impressed with you than a 30-year-old that's been around the block a few times.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It just
but
is
then
what
and
it
then
is.
it's like, where does that age lie too? Because right now to this day, a 16-year-old in Georgia, that's you can marry a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
To me, that's still too damn young.
Yeah, the South has some fucked up rules. When it
You
comes
know what
to-
I mean?
to
Like, you
statutory.
can marry my 16-year-old daughter?
Yeah.
No, nigga, we got problems.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, real talk.
that's real talk. But that's the legal age of consent down there. So it's like, first of all, we got to look at our government. We got to look at beyond our government. We got to look at the history and the lineage that we built. When you go back to Greek times, Roman times, much as I love African culture, there's time, they passing daughters off at 12, 13 years old. Like, the whole world is built on sexism. And it's a way bigger problem than racism.
Well, I've always wondered what's really the difference between R. Kelly and Hugh Hefner.
R. Kelly, Hugh Hefner, Jerry Lee Lewis,
Who have these houses filled with women.
That's
who,
what I always
who are
said.
down to be there.
And
I don't feel like R. Kelly tied up any of these girls and forced them, in his basement. Like, I just don't get that impression. It's R. fucking Kelly.
I think this, and you're tapping into something that's really important. It's the idea of fame.
Yeah.
So-called prosperity, superficial prosperity. When you see a man who has power and money and can give you anything you want, you are going to be drawn to him. and you like even less like. As much as I love Marvin Gaye, when you get down into the stories that, the real stories about individuals like him and the age of his wife and the sexual repression that was going on in his story.
How old was his wife?
His wife was
Young.
They say 16, but that, you know what I mean? But it might have been younger, you know what I mean? Like when you do the research but again, this is a man who wrote Sexual Healing and Let's Get It On. And like these figures over the time, James Brown, the people that we look up to is like, there's no difference. Like, are you going to come at Bill Cosby and he met half of these chicks at the Playboy Mansion, but nobody mentions Hugh Hefner? Yeah. Like, and this is what this man is farming young girls. Like letting them, growing them, shaping them, getting them, but we don't come at them. Yeah. And he's built an industry off of it.
I've always heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always heard that Hugh Hefner was always making his real money through pimping. That's what I heard.
If we even gonna go to Hefner pimping, let's go what's going on today with all of these models. Whether they're Instagram, social media, but high fashion models. If you got to look at the high fashion, again, these women are selling sex. Mm-hmm. There's no other way to explain. That's why I give the same respect that to a Victoria's Secrets model that I would give to a woman that's hustling in a strip club, because they're doing the exact same thing. It's just that white America appreciates the Victoria's Secrets catalog in her underwear. Why does that make her better than Lakeisha down in Magic City?
Right, they're both in their underwear.
Doing the same shit. And Lakeisha colder than me. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm going to give her my money. But just because the elite have chosen these 20 women to be the angels. Yeah. Nah, they walking around in they fucking drawers, twisting and turning. Like, and half of them are anorexic. Half of them are sick because they're trying to reach a status quo that some twisted white man wants them to look like a 13-year-old little girl.
Right. Well, they also want to be human hangers.
Right. I see that. I think that's bullshit too. No. Because I get, we only can make this in one size. It looks better smaller. That's some bullshit. That's bullshit? A lie. Okay. Because they want them to look like little girls. They want them to look really thin and really fresh and young, because weight makes someone look like they're older. They're scared of it. It's this fucked up Barbie mentality that it's a little girl. This is thinner is perfect. Perky breasts and all of that shit. Now give me some big double D's. So give me some woman shit. I'm gonna tell you what I like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's that idea that, and people don't look into it. All of these fashion, every magazine you turn on, they selling sex. Yeah. And so what makes that wrong? And then that's the surface. And so when you train this little girl from the time that she's 13, you're trying to get her an agent. She's on her own. Her mom and dad are at home. You got her flying to Milan. You got her going here. They're meeting, when they get to these places, they meet these rich billionaires. They're in these parties, prancing around, drinks, alcohol, drugs, and all of those old, dirty, nasty men are there trying to see what model they gonna fuck on. Wow. And whoever's brokering that, I don't know. Maybe the woman is talking, but why else would a 55 or 60-year-old man be in a party with a bunch of 20-year-old models? He's trying to fuck. He got a family at home, and he's at a fashion show or a late night model party because he's trying to fuck on something. And these models who've been trained in their mind, especially you bringing them from foreign countries, they ain't have shit when they was in Brazil. They ain't have shit when they was in Germany. Now they being shown champagne, diamonds, and all of this shit. And this man is worth $1 billion, and he got a yacht. What the fuck you think going on them yachts? They ain't playing Monopoly. They ain't fucking on them yachts. Like when you see models on yachts, you just seeing the daytime activities. At night, fucking.
They fucking. Yeah.
Like, let's call it what it is.
It is what it is.
And so whether there was an exchange of actual money or not, I don't know one model, and I know a lot of models, that's going to go on a yacht with some hairy, grimy 60-year-old man and spend a whole weekend. And what you do? Y'all reading Bible scriptures at night?
He's in none of the pictures on Instagram.
Yeah. Bitch, y'all fucking. Like, let's go. All these fucking trips to Dubai. Who flew you to Dubai?
Now, I feel you.
How the fuck you get to Turks and Caicos?
Let me tell you, me and Scarface were on the phone the other day, right? We were talking about this. He said, let me tell you something, Vlad. When a man and a woman is in the room, the devil's in the middle.
Oh, God. Hey, that's preach, pastor. That's real.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we all succumb to it. And it's like, that's what it's sad, man. And that's why even, I feel like it's a paradigm shift. You know what I mean? We've been in the age of Pisces for so long, and there's so many, but we're in a lifetime where we get to experience a shift in an age. We're going into the age of Aquarius, and everybody, it's an entire shift where all the lesser thans, or the people who are perceived as lesser thans, are supposed to take power, and because the last 2,000 years we've been repressed, whether that's Black people, whether it's Jewish people, or if you believe those to be the same people, or women, you know what I mean? Like, there was a time on this planet where women were gods, where women were exalted, where women, like, to me, they are gods. They're the only ones that bring that birth. Yeah. You know what I mean? But because that power had to be repressed during the last age, going into this next age, shit about to hit the fan. It's about to get real different.
Yeah.
And we get to experience this.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I'm all for it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So you say you never chase women.
Nah, I don't chase women.
But you chase Mariah.
Now, this is the thing. I put it out there that I was all into Mariah. I didn't chase her. And interestingly enough, like even how the story goes, every interview, who's your celebrity, I would be like, Mariah Carey. I spoke it into existence. Okay. She heard about it. She called me. Okay. You know what I mean? And she was like, and ultimately she was like, yo, I heard all the nice things you've been saying about it. I was like, yo, it's true. And then she actually hired me to direct one of her videos in the being it and all that stuff. And through then, it was a real conversation. But even at that time, and that's even when people find it so weird that we didn't have sex before we got married, because I wasn't chasing it. Like, when you think about most sexual activities, it's to do like, I'm trying to hit him. I didn't care. Like one, because I was getting plenty of sex, and I actually wanted to get to know the person. Mm-hmm. So when those conversations came up, I was never pushing up, and therefore it didn't seem weird. Like, I think that's so thirsty when dudes trying to fuck. Like, first of all, you missing all the greatness of what this woman is offering, because you so, like, every woman got a vagina. Like, so, but every woman don't have power. Every woman doesn't have intellectual ability. So when I meet someone that has something that other women, I'm focused on that. Mm-hmm. I know you got a pussy. Like, and if so be it, if it's in the cards, we gonna get to that. Mm-hmm. But that ain't the first thing I'm looking for. So even with my ex-wife, I was like, I wanted to get to know her on a spiritual level. I wanted to understand so many things. And that's where we built that first. And if she was like, yo, we not fucking until I'm cool with that.
Oh, so that was her idea?
That was her standard. You know what I mean? Like, so I was cool with
her
that.
standard was that she wasn't going to have sex until she got married.
That was real talk. Like, and it's so funny because you hear like so many rumors about Mariah, how wild and like that.
Well, but, Mariah, she was married before.
That's what I was like. If you break down Mariah's like personal sexuality, like regardless of what you may believe that you've seen, she was dealing with the head of her label since the age of 18.
Right.
She was Tommy's girl.
Yeah.
Wasn't nobody fucking with her when she was Tommy's girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's since she was a child, which is a little weird if we want to talk about that.
How old was Tommy when he got married?
Old as shit.
40s, 50s?
Yeah. Like, he was with a, but I understand his mentality. He was like, I got me a new little princess that's untainted and untouched, or however he perceived it. And he built her into the powerhouse that she became. She was married to him and then she dated, a couple dudes in between there, the Derek Jeters, the Luis Miguel's, and even then, I don't know, I don't ask so many questions, but all of those relationships with her, she was like, yo, I'm trying to focus in and marry these guys. Like, she never had no frivolous relationships. So then even by the time she got to me, it all clicked. I was like, oh yeah, you're not out here like a lot of these other chicks. You know what I mean? She's like, no. She's like, one, she's in a box. She's in a glass bubble.
Yeah, she's protected.
Yeah.
You can't run up on Mariah
yeah,
Carey.
Yeah, so the average dude can't pop at Mariah Carey.
No.
So
Impossible.
yeah, so even the ones that tried, like, and again, just like any woman, like, you gonna flirt and like kiss and do little things, but if you have standards, you're gonna stick to those standards, and I respected that.
Did you guys ever have a conversation about the Eminem thing?
Oh, we had plenty of conversations about the Eminem thing.
Because that's always seemed like it was a running thing.
Yeah.
You got dragged into it in a way.
Yeah, I got dragged into it, and like, again, I wasn't gonna let anybody disrespect my family, my wife, and you know, and I was like, however you want to handle it, motherfucker, we gotta handle it. like if you man enough that we could just have a conversation, let's have a conversation. But you gonna apologize, and I'm gonna see you in person and tell you that that's what you have to do. Because if you man enough to say this shit, you man enough to deal with it. And that's the aspect that I took with it. And at the time, you know, God rest his soul, Chris Lighty was working with us and everything. And I was like, yo, Chris, give me in front of that dude, or at least on the phone. Like, we got to figure this out.
Okay.
And I felt like during the time, because whatever him and Mariah had going on, one, I felt like it was weird. Because they're both not normal, so I don't know. So I didn't even really get into it. I was like, "That's y'all on some weird shit." Like, I don't care if y'all were dating, weren't dating. Y'all won't admit it. Y'all did have sex. You didn't. You like, if you hear his lyrics in the warning track, he talking about dry humping. And y'all on some weird shit. Y'all like, it sound like two adolescents. Like, y'all on some weird shit. But I don't care about that. What I care about is respect. And you're gonna respect me as a man. You're gonna respect my family as a man. So let's deal with that shit. And if you want to make songs about it, you want to tap dance, do all that shit. But you're not going to disrespect me or my family, and we see each other in words or actions not going to happen. And that's just how I put it out there. And then people like didn't expect that energy from the persona that they thought I was. Like, little Nickelodeon dude think he tough. He's like, nah, it wasn't about none of that shit. Like, we going to deal with this like men. And if you a man, let's deal with it. And then it got over sensationalized and all that shit, and it's like, it was silly at the end of the day. I was like, well, shit, like, let's come on, wilding out. Let's have fun. You know what I mean?
But you guys never talked.
I attempted to talk to that man so many times, and again, a little bit of a recluse. He ain't, you know, I get it. He's a superstar. He live in his mansion in Michigan, and he don't, like, he talks to who he wants to talk to. But yeah. I went to management. I went to cats who know him, the street cat, whatever. Like, I just want to holler at him. Like,
right.
Come on, you owe me that. You gonna put my name in a song. You gonna talk about me in interviews, but we can't chop it up like grown ass men. Like, and that was 2008. I was on that bullshit till about 2010. By the time it was like till like 2011. By the time I was like, this is silly shit at this point. Like, and then even by the time I wasn't with Mariah anymore, I was like, nigga, we really got some stuff we can talk about. Like let's chop it up. And you know, because again, he's one of my favorite MCs. Like, I'm a huge Eminem fan as an artist, but as a man, I felt like we owed each other at least enough to have a conversation and be like, yo, you was on some fuck shit with that. Like, let's deal with it and get past it.
Yeah, I mean, but Eminem doesn't really work shit out with people. He doesn't.
But that's some coward shit.
He doesn't, you know. I mean, he is kind of a recluse. Like, you never see him in a club. You never see him. Is that
to be respected? No, like, if we talk about some man shit.
Well, listen.
It's like, fuck you. like, nah.
Hey,
say fuck me to my face and stand there.
Yeah.
And even if it's art, if we joking around, like, that's what I built Wildin' Out on. Yeah. That's some real shit. I can tell Method Man, hey, you sold out for the white man. And we could joke about that and get past it. I could say to, like, somebody could come up to, I could say to Tiger that your ex-girlfriend ain't old enough to get up in here. Like, and we could joke about and move on. Yeah. Like, that shows confidence. That shows maturity. That shows that you on some man shit, that you can step up to the plate, even make jokes in satire, in jest. You can still make jokes, and shit is cool.
When did you get the Mariah tattoo on your back?
I got that shit immediately. But
immediately after you got married, or
like damn near either a few days before we got married, a few days after. Like, because we got married in a private island in the Bahamas. And we had to fly the tattoo artist in to do the tats and all that. So I think it was either, I want to say, no, it had to be. It was a few days before, because we took, on the wedding pictures, we had the tats. So it was like the idea behind that, it was like I had just like clearly Mariah can buy anything she wanted, and I was previously engaged to somebody that I had just bought like a stupid 10 karat 12 karat ring or some shit like that to somebody.
12 carats?
Yeah.
You're talking about that,
right, and that was before Mariah.
That's in the millions.
Yeah, so that was before Mariah. So she was like, well, what you got to get me got to be bigger than that.
Right.
I was like, well, shit, that shit broke the bank right there. And then there was like these crazy rumors going around that I had just gave that ring to Mariah, which would be the stupidest fuck shit ever. I would never do nothing like that. But Jacob the jeweler made both of the rings. So her ring looked similar to Mariah's ring, but it was way bigger. Like Mariah's like 17 carats. But I damn near
17
cashed in everything I had at that moment. I was calling people, hey man, you got a couple of 100,000 I could use. I'm trying to get this ring. Like it was literally at that time in my life, I was very well off, but I had never bought a piece of jewelry that was in the millions. You know what I mean? Like
17 karat diamond ring.
It was stupid. But to the point is,
Wait, 2.5 million? That's what they're saying.
it was
like
in that ballpark.
Okay.
Definitely wasn't as much as that, but it was around,
Okay, but
it was more than $1 million, Vlad.
Hey, but that's what you'd expect from a Mariah ring.
You had to, but
Right.
and again, like she could have bought that herself if she wanted. Like there was a conversation. She was like, "I'll buy my ring," and you could say, "It's like, nah, I'm a man. I can't let that happen. I'm gonna go figure it out." And I did. Like that was always a beautiful challenge for me, is to still obtain my manhood, but still be humble and step back and be submissive when I needed to. And that, because to me, a relationship is all about being equally yoked. So I needed a powerful woman. I needed somebody to help balance me out, because otherwise my ego would have took off and I needed to be checked. So, and that's why it worked well for so long. And one of those things was like, she's like, I could buy whatever. Like we on this island, this my shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that was her island?
Damn near. Like she
okay.
Yeah, she got shit on that island, and it's a small island, and she got more properties than most on the island. Like,
Okay.
If she wanted to call it her island, she could call it her island.
She has an island. Okay. I feel you.
But in that theory, it was like, let's do something that has nothing to do with material. Like, of course, we like shiny things and diamonds and all that, but I was like, let's do something that goes beyond that. And that's when neither one of us at the time had any tattoos. And mine was just because I always wanted them, but I hadn't put something on my body yet that I felt I really
Oh, you had no tattoos?
No tats.
Because you're all tatted now.
Yeah, and it's all a story. But like at that, to me, that's still the beginning of the story. Now people think, oh, you covered it up. I was like, nah, I added on to it because that was the first chapter in my story and dealing with what I was dealing with. So I did it. I go hard or I go home. I do it big or I don't do it at all.
What was her tattoo?
A cannon tattoo. She had it like in the little area where chicks get it, but it was like a butterfly, and it said either Nick Cannon or Mr. Cannon down the center of it.
Okay.
So
when you think of divas, Mariah's pretty much up there on the
she's
list.
the one.
What was the most diva thing that you ever experienced?
Oh man, that's every day. I mean, people think this one is deep. Like, and I was when our kids was born, she was playing the live version of Fantasy as the kids came out because she wanted them to come out to applause. Like, yo, New York in the house, and she popping babies out. But it was
wait, Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, with
ODB.
With Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah,
Your kids listen to Old Dirty Bastard as
on their
first as they first entered the earth
in Madison Square Garden. Like
ODB got to greet them.
Exactly. So now, I mean, but that
like be okay, man.
Everything's a production, which is cool. Like
Okay.
hair and makeup before we go to the grocery store. Like it's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Everything.
Did she really go to a grocery store?
I used to take her to 7-Eleven, Walmart.
I've never seen no paparazzi pictures.
Exactly, because we would be in the hood. Like, they ain't paparazzi. That's the thing. People get it fucked up. Paparazzi don't hang out in the hood.
No, they do not.
They be in Beverly Hills, New York, the Hamptons, and all fucking Fifth Avenue. They don't hang out where regular people hang out.
So you were taking Mariah to the hood.
Cause we was getting Slurpees at 7-Eleven. We was at the blue light special at Walmart. Like, it was just I was like, cause like, yo, you gotta do regular shit.
Okay.
And I think that was the beauty of our relationship. You know what I mean? I was a constant reminder of normalcy.
Right. What do you think was kind of the final step where both of you guys just went,
Man, it was simple. It was again, I always feel like when one person turns theirs on, the other has to turn theirs off. And it got to a place where I wasn't able to step into that next realm of my existence by trying to work within her existence. And it wasn't no beef or none of that type of stuff. It was just like, as I began to figure out some more things as a man, she was doing her thing, and what I never wanted was there to be any competition because we had two beautiful children. So that idea was like, look, if I could be a better father outside of your bubble, then that's what I want to do because I'm here for my children. And no disrespect to your bubble and how y'all move and the system that you've created, but that's not conducive to my lifestyle and my beliefs. So therefore, I got to step outside. It was even ideas like, yo, I'll buy an apartment in the same building. I'll buy a house next door. But I can't abide by your rules when I have my own beliefs and my own system and my own rules, especially when I'm trying to be an example for my children. And that was as simple as that. Like it had nothing to do with no infidelity. It had nothing to do with any of the rumors and none of that. It was just like, yo, I believe in different things. And what I'm not going to do is to pretend like I'm rocking just because I love you. And then we both in a fucked up situation 10, 15 years from now because I didn't step up and speak up as a man as I should.
Well, but you guys are kind of in different businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't really directly compete.
Nah, not at all.
You know what I mean?
But I think successful people have egos and they just, and I've always wanted to just be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businessman, and she's that too. And when I'm focusing in on the things that I'm doing, like we are. I mean, we both make music, we both make movies and TV. It's just how it comes, you know what I mean? Like we're both brands when you see it like that.
Right. But on the movie side, you've done better. On the music side, she's done better.
I mean, she's amazing. Yeah, like that's no one will ever accomplish what she's accomplished in music.
Yeah.
But we also got to see like she still want it. She's still in that studio every night.
Okay, so she's not kicking back.
Nah, she
with the two kids and her millions and saying, I'm cool. I'll drop an album, a Christmas album every so often.
She the queen of Christmas, but she know every new artist, every hot new producer. Like
right, she was in the studio with YG not too long ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like she bought that life and she really lived this. And I think that's the thing too that people don't understand that. Her and I connected musically because people don't even know that I'm a musician. People don't know I play 6 instruments. People don't know I've been writing for years. And I purposely don't, because I don't get out there and be bragging about it. But we connected on that level. Like we would be in the studio. Like it's Mariah records that I wrote and produced that I didn't even put my name on. Like I'd use fake names, or we would do stuff like that.
Them come out?
Yeah, they on the albums. It's like, okay. But it's not. It's because it wasn't about that. Because what I never wanted people to think is like, oh, he got Mariah and he just started doing it. But like the dope, like we would do Christmas time or times with the family. I'm sitting at the piano and she's singing. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that the world never got an opportunity to see. That we connected on an intimate level in that world. That we was on the same. And even the fact like people don't understand like Mariah's a dope actress. Like if you,
she was in Precious.
Precious,
right?
killed it, stripped it all down. You know what I mean? Like, and she impressions, and she's hilarious. Like shit, like she does comedy, but you would never see that side of her because it's the diva. And that's the other thing. Like she knows, like that what the world thinks of her, and she plays that diva shit up to make people it's funny to her. Like, cause she just a cool chick from Long Island. Like she think that shit is funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she plays it up. Like if you get to know her, you're like, oh, I didn't know she was this cool. And it's that mentality that where sometimes you might not agree on everything at every time. So you gotta put your foot down and say, I believe this, you believe that, and we keep it pushing.
When you told her that you're having another baby, what was that conversation like?
It whacked. She thought it was funny. She thought it was very funny just for many inside joke reasons and stuff that we would have. But she was like, you just out here, huh? You just like, and I was like, nah. I was like, and at the time, I think she was engaged to
Right.
somebody, like, so it was like she couldn't be mad at it. But it wasn't no drama or none of that. And like my kids, man, like the twins love their little brother, and because to me, I've also been, enlightened and growing in a sense to where my idea of what life is actually about is to procreate, be the best parent you can possibly be. So nobody can be mad at a child, especially when someone's dedicated and focused on taking care of that child and building with that child, because it's what humanity is about.
So, with the mother of your son,
Yes.
are you guys still together?
We were never really together.
Oh,
Again, that's the idea.
okay.
Like what I believe is I don't believe in relationships and all that and in that binding, because one, I've tried it in society's form, but that's just, to me, that's just the government keeping track of individuals. That's how they decipher property and money. And we've fallen into this idea of, oh, it's the status. This is what we have to do. Relationships have been going on, but we can't live up to it. So when two people truly come together as one, I believe that has to be ordained by God. Like God has to put his hand. That's what if you believe in the Bible or the Torah, or like it says when two come together, he exalts it, because it's not normal. It's not natural.
Okay, so you mean to tell
So
me,
I don't mess with it because I'm not good at it.
but you mean to tell me that all the women that you quote unquote dated before
Yes.
Mariah,
Right.
when you got married, you didn't feel a higher sense of partnership with that person?
As a business, a marriage is a business.
That's what I'm saying.
It's an institution.
But it's all kind of intermixed, right?
So therefore, and to be in a relationship,
Yeah.
that's to make you a better person. That's to build. You're supposed to grow together, come together as one and grow. If I can no longer grow, if I'm good, or if I'm reaching down to help this person grow, then we can't be equally yoked. I'm in a disadvantage. And now there's all these laws and legalities and these contracts that you're placing in front of me to supposedly describe my love, that maybe that's the easy way out. I can express and describe my love without signing a contract that was written by some man 200 years ago.
Well, I mean, I assumed there was prenups before you guys got married.
Yeah, and I was that was interesting to me. You know what I mean? That was an interesting conversation just based off of how you're supposed to move, how you are looked at by society, how we feel about one another. Mm-hmm. And you have to have those conversations. And that's like, I told myself after that, I was like, I would never do this again. You know what I mean? Because, and even in the divorce, like that was until her and I sat down, that was the dumbest, most disrespectful and dark and demonic shit one can go through, is having to go through paperwork and have other people speak for someone that you love and that you built a family with.
Oh, so the lawyers got involved at the end.
That's all it was, until I told the motherfuckers to shut up. We can handle it and deal with it on our own.
Right, because both of you guys are successful.
Right.
Like, I did not, when I saw this come together, I did not think anyone was getting a come up.
Right, right.
This. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we good.
Everyone good. No one's trying to get child support. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? No one's fighting over child support. No one's
Right.
going to court over it.
Right.
Everyone's financially doing their thing. And, you know, they decided that they split up, and it seemed kind of amicable.
Right.
But you're saying that behind the scenes there was some ugly shit.
But no, it wasn't never ugly shit between me and my family.
But with the lawyers.
The lawyers was on some fuck shit.
Okay.
And I wasn't paying attention because, you know, I'm trying to go along. Whatever you want to do. You get a lawyer, I get a lawyer. Okay, cool. We do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? References, we do the same people that rocked with us when we got married, let them figure it out. And then I'm looking, and I know my bills is going crazy, racking up, paying them. And I know hers is probably doing the same. So I'm like, yo, because they fighting over shit that we don't even have no problem with. It's like, oh, it's the finesse, it's the hustle. Like, and I was like, we literally like, all right, let's talk it out. I'll write the email. You tell me what you want. I say we'll write the email, send it to the lawyers. And that fucked them up. They was like, wait. I was like, nah, this is what we want. This is what we talk. But no, you can't. Who says we can't? But you got the laws. I don't give a fuck about the law. That law don't apply to me. We want to talk about the law. The law thought I was 3/5 of a man for the longest. Like fuck that law. This is what we want to do. We paying you, do that.
The end.
But
Right.
that was like, if you look, because, and I was always told like divorces take years.
No.
Why? Why?
Because the lawyers.
Because of the lawyers. Because of the attorneys want to keep that shit going because they got to feed their family. It's a hustle.
Yeah. And it seems like since the divorce, it's been really amicable. Like, I haven't heard one bad word from either person.
Nah.
You know, she got engaged. You were cool with it.
Yeah,
you
I
had
was
a
gonna
baby.
show up.
She was cool with it.
Yeah, like
Everything was cool.
yeah, nah.
You know?
We super solid, man. We talk every single day.
Nice.
You know, the kids are the number one priority. Talk to the teachers every day. Talk, you know, like, it's just when they with me, they talking to mommy on FaceTime. When they with her, they talking to me on FaceTime. It's like we get it done.
When, you know, she was engaged to the billionaire guy.
Billionaire.
I'd heard that he just wasn't feeling the whole reality show, fame, lifestyle thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
that was the rumors that were going around.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get into it, but I mean, he do seem like he was pretty private, and
Yeah.
you know, like I said, when you walk into Mariah's world, it's a production.
It is.
You know what I mean? And he probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure he got business associates and investors, and he out there on yachts kissing on camera and stuff like that. Probably ain't the life he was trying to live. You know, he got little young dancers creeping on your broad. Like, I was like that. He probably's like, yo, this ain't what I signed up for.
Yeah, yeah. The idea of it was great.
Yeah, but you know, you never know, cause I show up and pick up my kid. Y'all, all right, we out. You know what I mean? Like
That's dope.
I had so much other stuff going on that I'm there for my children, and whatever she had going on, that I wasn't in it.
So we had our interview last time.
Yeah.
Right? Earlier in the year. And then I think right afterwards, you called me about the America's Got Talent.
Yeah. I
situation.
called you for advice and just had on some friend shit, just like, and.
And we had to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I actually told you.
I was about to say, Vlad, you told me I should stay.
No, that's not what I said. I said that you should have some conversations first.
Right.
I said that you should talk to, you know, the parties that are involved.
Right.
And then make a decision.
Yeah, and I did that. I listened because I could have got hot-headed. I could have got on my super black man shit. And, you know, I had Al Sharpton on speed dial. Like, Black Lives Matter. They was calling me like, what we got to do? And I was like, nah, that's not the smart way to do this. You know what I mean? Because then I don't want to pull the race card every time. Because I'm already on some pro-black, unapologetic African shit anyway. So I didn't want to play this wrong to where it was like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. He's race baiting this situation. When that actually, race was actually a small thing. And I took it all the way to the top. And
The top was what, the head of NBC?
yeah. And we sat down and we talked, and I think we amicably split ways because I truly believe, especially once it had got out there the way that it did, because it came to me from left field. You know, whether I was on Howard Stern joking about it, or, you know, the things I was saying in my stand-up special, I was like, yo, I'm talking shit. I'm speaking real shit. And they felt like I wasn't painting NBC in the light way. And it all got down to, you know, the line of, you know, I said NBC stood for nigga be careful. And I was like, now whatever they felt about that, or, you know, whether I was referencing Bill Cosby about to buy NBC, or whether I was referencing like the two different, it was more of a joke talking about my demeanor. Like, sometimes you see this Nick Cannon, sometimes you see the guy, you know, with the three-piece suit and the shiny shoes on, and you got to know when and where to pull that card. In theory, all they heard was nigga and NBC and all this, like, and then they tried to approach like, well, if he's not happy, then why is he here? It's like, when ultimately the conversations that were being had is that we don't like what he's saying, therefore we're terminating his contract.
Okay.
And I was like, well, terminate that shit then. And they didn't expect that reaction. You know, they were asking like, even before that, before the special and all that came out, I had the little meeting with some executives and my agents, and everybody's like, Nick, we really love you, and, you know, we believe you're a different kind of talent. You're a producer, you're a businessman, you're bringing it, but, you know, we just got to make sure we stay on the right path. You know, Billy Bush is out there with Trump saying things. We don't want anything like that.
Oh, that was the same time?
Yeah, it was like right there. It was like, we don't want that to happen to you. I was like, that's not going to happen to me. Like, you know why? Because everything that come out of my mouth, I stand by it, believe it, and say it. And you ain't, if I said some shit on a tape, I'll say that shit in your fucking face. It's bottom line.
Well,
so therefore, that meeting didn't go the way that they wanted it to go.
Yeah.
He's like, because the turban thing, explain it to us. Why? Why do I need to explain it to you? I talk about it everywhere else. I explain it to you that I believe it's my sovereignty. It's something that comes from our culture that's beyond this from the original man, and that I represent something more powerful than this was sitting right in front of me. But we ain't got to talk about that right now. If you want to call it a fashion statement, like we had those conversations and they see me fast talking and all of that. And that's kind of, I feel like those were the first couple of red flags that is like, okay, we don't control him. And if we don't control him, then maybe money can control him. And it's like, nah, fuck that. You don't control me. And that's the bottom line. And in every situation I'm in, therefore, I'm never going to let someone control me.
Right, because the word was that you walked away from a $10 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was
It was big.
It was up there. It's like, because obviously it was for multiple years,
Yeah.
so it was even more than that at the end of the day. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, but it's like, whether it was 20, 30, whatever, it's like I was signed up to be on America's Got Talent for a very long time, and because I had been on it for 8 years already, I was the highest paid host on NBC, and it's like, me and Ryan are the only ones that got to that level of being paid, crazy money to host. But I was like, fuck that money. Like, I believe in myself. I'm bigger than this job. So you can have that. I'll make that money and more next year.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't realize, that when you have a certain amount of money, you start making better decisions.
Exactly. You start
Yeah.
seeking within.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
we all on a paper chase.
yeah. Like I turned down $30,000 for an interview once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the dude just wasn't, he was trying to buy his way on.
Yeah.
And I said, well, my brand is worth more than $30,000.
Right.
So that sounds crazy to someone who's making
And it's
$30,000
easy.
a
Like,
year.
yo, you make $30,000 in an hour, Vlad.
Yeah,
Get
an
to
hour.
it.
Yeah. But it was like, there's a bigger story here.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt the brand long term.
Exactly.
So I'm going to give it out.
That's like, I don't do things for money anymore.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years ago, that nigga would have did anything for money. And I don't say I love money. I love having money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I could get it, I'm all about it. You know what I mean? But I don't have a love for the currency. Because to me, character is the true currency. Character is worth way more than money. And you can't buy me. And I'm blessed enough to be in that position. I could provide for so many others, give to so many charities. Like, it just builds you up as a spirit. So I'm blessed enough to be in a position. I've done everything I've ever wanted to do in my life. I've been a part of whatever. So there's nothing you could tell me that's going to make me alter my beliefs.
So at this point, you're gone.
Yeah.
America's Got Talent. Who replaced you?
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks. Okay.
Her fine ass.
Okay.
I love Tyra.
How's she doing on the show?
I haven't seen the show,
yeah,
but
I've
I
seen
hear
the
she's doing great.
Has it aired? Since
Yeah. It's,
okay.
she did a full season and stuff. So.
Okay, well.
But like we hang out. Like I was like, well played, NBC. Well played. Cause I was hearing like they was gonna go after, like, couldn't no black man come after me, cause then they would have just looked like a straight coon. You know what I mean? And then if they would have went to a white person or even another, then it was like, oh, see, it was a racial thing. You know what I mean?
With a black female.
Yeah, they went with a black woman. Well played, NBC.
Well, I interviewed Lavelle Crawford earlier in the year.
I hope I'll probably get in trouble. Whatever. Fuck him, NBC. I'm going to just tell you just like this. NBC will try to control the fuck out. They still think they're a powerhouse, really, but they evil on some aspects. And I say that, not trying to start no shit. I was on Last Common Standing. I appreciate what they did for me. I thank it, but they try to control everything.
Goddamn right.
You co-sign that, huh?
Nah, I mean, it's like, again, it's not fuck NBC. It's fuck the system. Because they operate within this system. And that's what we got to talk about. Like, this system was not designed for us. And again, it goes into that idea of there's systemic issues and systemic platforms that were set up by, these very, very powerful white men from back in the day and said, this is how it's going to operate. And luckily, because of our power, we've been able to finesse and figure a few things out. But that system ain't changing. You just got to know how to operate within the system.
Now, you've always been real active in the whole, the whole social scene.
Yeah.
You were like in St. Louis in a Kaepernick jersey.
Yeah.
Kaepernick still is out of a job.
Yep. But fuck that job. Fuck the NFL. Like, it's, and that's my man. And we've grown.
Oh, so you guys know each other?
Yeah, we
Okay.
really close. Like, you know, it's cool. I work out with him in the morning, and he's
Really?
Yeah, he be throwing that football like that's the fucked up shit that. And it's like we've talked like, yo, we gotta start our own league. You know, and really that's what it is. Like.
Well, I mean,
like
they've
Diddy,
tried.
or like we could just start our own league because this dude is so talented, but they blackballed him. And now I used to tell like, man, you going down in history, dog. Like you going down like it's 1968. You know what I mean? It's the Olympics, or you going down in history like Muhammad Ali. Like you stood for something, or you kneeled for something. And regardless of what people want to say, like that's the thing. When I talk with them, people thought he was kneeling against the government or Trump. It's like, nah, he was kneeling for our people, for the injustices that's been going on in our communities, these police brutalities, these police shootings, and nobody's being convicted. That's what he wasn't just being an angry black football player or half black football player. He was being someone that said, I believe some shit is fucked up and nobody's doing anything, so I'm going to peacefully protest because I'm not standing up for this national anthem that was looking to degrade black people from its origin and still does to this day.
Well, the NFL donated or said they would donate $89 million, and I think you said it was bullshit.
Yeah, and because again, it's all about control. Because this is the finesse that nobody paid attention to, right? The finesse was like, oh shit, Colin's out there causing a bunch of shit. What are we gonna do? So therefore, the entire NFL said, we're gonna kneel together. We're gonna support together. We're not the bad guy. Matter of fact, let's flip it and make it Trump is the one. Let's give Trump some rhetoric and some tweets to say, make him the bad guy and we're the good guys. No, Trump's the bad guy and so is the fucking NFL. Because today we still arguing about people like owning people on fields like and what they can do. Like we've been doing that for 400 years. Your boys acting up because my boys is straight. I'ma kneel with my boys because I love my slaves. But if your slaves ain't acting right, don't let them in the big house. Cut them off. It's modern day slavery. Regardless of how much money they got, these was $40 million slaves. And I love all my cats providing for their family in the NFL, but it's the system that's fucked up. We sitting here allowing kids to get concussions and fight and bump into each other, creating little barbarians and gladiators to help provide for their family for entertainment for the elite.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I can't say who told me this because it was a private conversation off the record, but I hit up a pro football player that I know.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you think about the Aaron Hernandez CTE findings? Because
Right.
Aaron Hernandez had more CTE damage than anyone they've ever seen.
Right.
And he told me something that kind of really, really bothered me. He said, I feel like all of us will have that shit, but who wouldn't risk that to set your family up for a generation, though? Less fortunate people risk their lives every day for a lot less.
Warriors. And
They're willing to damage their brains
for entertainment.
So their family could have some money.
Think how barbaric we are as a society. That we turn on our TV every Sunday, sit around, eat chips and dip and guacamole and shit to watch people run into each other's heads.
Yeah.
And we call that, they're amazing.
Right. You have 2 sons.
Yeah.
If they told you they want to play football.
Nah. But again, because I want my sons to be brain surgeons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now if they said, Pops, I love this football, I'm not gonna argue it. You know what I mean? But hopefully I'm guiding them to do something more intellectually sound. And not to say that football players aren't, but society has chosen, this is your only way out. Put this ball in your hand, boy. Put this microphone in your hand, boy. And maybe you'll make it out. Maybe you'll be able to provide for your family. While everybody sits back and watches you. And you watch these football players walk into these rooms with these businessmen, these Wall Street cats. They don't respect them. They have no, they're like, yeah, sure, give me your money. I'll put it over here for you.
No, I mean, in fact, almost all of the professional athletes that I've interviewed or just had conversations with over the years, they've all told me that at no point do they remember business conversations in the locker room. And you're talking about a room filled with $100 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people's just talking about
because they made it.
Yeah, people talking about cars and jewelry and girls.
Yeah, they made it. Nobody's having no ownership conversations.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I want to own the team.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to like that's and again that's a different mentality because you made it from the bottom. So if you get halfway out, well shit, I ain't at the bottom no more.
Yeah.
Fuck the top. You know what I mean? Like, but you still in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and that's the way society makes you, that controls you. They just give you just enough to make you feel like this is success, while they're really experiencing success.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've always said, well, there's a couple interesting things about money that I like to kind of reference. Number one, I've always said that until your money is making money, you're just living paycheck to paycheck.
Real talk.
You know, me and you had that stock conversation the other night.
It's not real wealth.
Yeah, until your money is generating money, it doesn't matter if you're making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year. You're just spending it all and trying to.
My accountants told me that. Like I was making, I'm $20 million a year, but spending 21.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had to readjust. I still, even to this day, I'm like, I like nice shit and I like helping people, but it's like until I'm sitting back and I can say, yo, I don't have to work for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then that's when I'm good. But we still live in check to check, regardless if them is $10 and $20 million checks. You still live in check to check
until your money is being invested to the point where it's making its own income.
Yeah,
and that's why the rich have always gotten richer, because their money is making money, whereas the middle class is just kind of struggling to pay their bills.
Exactly.
And they're just staying in the same place, decade after decade.
The crazy shit is like money is debt. The Federal Reserve. That's a private company. You know what I mean? Like they had a big meeting in the early 1900s in Georgia on an island, and they got together, the Rothschilds and all them. They said, "I got it figured out." You know what I mean? Like they had escaped all of the bullshit, and they said, like, "Yo, we gonna start a private bank. We gonna call that shit the Federal Reserve, and this shit ain't even gonna be worth shit. There's no gold behind it. We selling debt. Like every dollar is debt." And they make money off of that. And like that's what our stock market is built. That's what everything.
Yeah.
It's all debt. They trying to get you. Them dollars ain't worth shit. But they built this whole thing to where it's insurance. It's all of these things that where our country has to therefore switch it over and say, we ain't really got no gold, but we got people. And we got people on a leash. And we got them so much so that their kids will be our slaves. And therefore, every name on a birth certificate is you own it. I'll sell that to you. There's these policies. They take a policy out on every single person when they're born. They call it a birth certificate. It's a policy. It's a certificate of this is what you are worth to society, and I'm going to sell that, and this person will be in this amount of debt by this year. They got it all calculated, and that's how that's what we sell to China. That's what we sell to Russia. Our debt of and you know what? We're in debt to you, but you can have our people.
Trick Daddy told me something interesting when I interviewed him.
I watched different speakers speak up on materialistic things. Everybody's materialistic. An old wise man once told me, if you could look in your closet, look in your driveway, and look inside your house and see more money than you can see when you look inside your bank account, you's a poor fool.
Yo, these are some young young philosophers, some young scholars. Like, shouts out to Trick Daddy, because that's real shit.
Right.
You told me some shit that blew my mind, that I'd simplify some shit when I was trying to explain it to some young cats. You said, like, yo, we walk around and we buy all of these sneakers and you buying all of these Jordans, but if you take that same money that you spent on Jordans and buy you some shares of Nike, when them Jordans is all dusty and fucked up, you still got ownership in Nike.
Yeah, and you've been making dividends the whole time.
And you can
and now
love
it's worth
Nike.
more.
If you got a love for Nike, buy part of the company.
Right.
Use the same exact money.
Yeah.
Same shit. But
Yeah.
you know what? I can't wear my stocks on my feet.
No.
So I can't pull up in the club and the bitch like, ooh, them stocks is fly.
Right, I can't post my stuff. Well, you know something? But now I have a page called Vlad Stocks.
Yeah.
Where I actually post my portfolio. I'm stunting on Instagram with my portfolio.
But they don't understand that.
You know what I'm saying? I showed how in 6 years my Google stock quadrupled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I showed how it went from like 250 to like 1,000 something. And someone's like, 6 years, you only made like $800. I don't get it. Well, you don't get how many shares I bought, number one.
right.
I didn't mention that part because I don't share my personal wealth.
Right.
But y'all are missing the point of what's happening here.
Exactly.
Like, this money quadrupled, and I did nothing.
Yeah. It just sat there. My money made money.
You could take 250. You could take 250 and work for it and turn it into 1,000, but you can do a whole lot more work than
because everybody understands the concept of flipping. You know, we flipping paper.
Right.
But if your paper is flipping paper,
yeah.
You just sitting back.
You
ain't gotta be on the block. That's what they doing. They laughing at us out here hustling for minimum wage.
You and Cameron had some jabs back and forth back in the day.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it over? Do you remember?
Probably some more Mariah stuff. I mean, Cam is
him and Mariah have been kind of cool.
He's a funny dude. Like one thing, like he probably, all of his. I'm pretty sure he shot his shot at Mariah plenty of times. Like, and if you notice, like, I don't know their history, but I know her.
All right, here we go. I found it. He said Cameron says he asked Mariah Carey for a threesome with his girlfriend.
Right, and I'm pretty sure the answer was no. But like again, like that was their time. But I came like, yo, let's talk about this. What we doing? First of all, clarify what you saying, my brother. Like so you can say what you saying, and then own up to it. Because if you lying on your dick, that's fuck shit. You know what I mean? Who does that nowadays? And then it's like, shoot, that'll get you fucking arrested these days. And then the idea was like, oh, you about the jokes, I'm about the jokes. Nigga, let's get to it. Like,
come to Wild Out.
Yeah, we can send screenshots and all of that type of stuff. Come on, Wildin' Out. And that's another one I'm still waiting to come through. Jimmy been there. Jim been on
Jim
Wildin'
Jones
Out
came through?
mad times.
Being, because Wildin' Out is kind of a battle show, you could say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
When you saw
much more than drop the mic is.
When you saw the Mase Cameron battle.
Yeah. I'm a fan of both of them cats.
Me too.
I'm a fan of Murder Mase and Pastor Mase. and Cam as well. It's funny, man. Like, Mase created the swag that these young boys are still operating on to this day. And he knows that. You know what I mean? Like, the little pretty boy, get the ladies, like... And it's a lot of cats that owe their entire career for borrowing from Mase. I remember Kanye used to be like, yo, Mase is my favorite rapper. Like... And, he put Cam on, technically.
Well, Jimmy said that Mase really held the torch for the rest of them. And actually, I think he said that Mase taught him how to rap.
Well, Mase actually showed me, he was the first person to show me how to rap. That's how I learned how to rap. Actually, it was Mase sitting down and... How did he teach you how to rap? How do you learn how to rap? I think you told me one time that when you're creating a record, I'm going to say this wrong probably, but when you're creating a record, you don't write anything down. You go into the studio and just record. Yeah, now I do. But it's always been like that for a minute. But when Mase showed me how to do it, it was kind of like a format, and it took a pen and a pad, and it was kind of dope. It was like after like doing a math, like doing what you call that? A math. I don't problem. Yeah. I just pulled that out of my ass. I didn't. It was like calculated the way he showed me how to do it. So it was like, it's like with anything. Like some people are talented artists, and some people could work hard at being good at that craft. Mm-hmm. And that was what rap was for me.
Yeah, and I think if you ask me, I think Mase won the battle.
I think Mase absolutely won the battle.
Mase, the only thing that's kind of like, but he sucker punched him. Like Cam wasn't looking for the fight really. Like Mase just came. Well,
no, Cam took some shots on him on his last mixtape project.
Right, but those was Cam shots. Cam been taking shots at everybody. Cam talking about Joe Budden. Cam just shoot shots. You know what I mean? And it's not. He was just giving his opinion about shit where. I think Mase started going into personal details and street business and I was like, and it was fire. You know what I mean? But I rocked with, I love the beat that Cam used, and I love how he took the pastor approach. Because at the end of the day, Mase did some wild shit. Like Mase, you was like murder Mase, tough guy, bad boy. Then you go and start a ministry.
Right.
And mislead people. I was at Mase's church.
Wait, you went to Mase's church?
Damn right, I was at Mase's church. Same ministries in Atlanta. And the man was speaking the truth. He was giving that word. And I'm like, yo, this is Mase. I'm sitting up there. I'm like, and he's preaching the gospel. And he's catching the spirit and speaking in tongues. And like,
all that.
It was happening. And then, I was with him. Because I'm a PK. I'm with you, my brother. I understand. I understand the dichotomy. I understand you want to lead your people. I understand you want to escape some dark shit. And you have come into the light of Christ and you want to share that message. I'm all for that. Where shit got murky for me, and Mase is my man. But when you come back and it's like, even like the welcome back, I was with you. I was like, you can. I believe you can do both. When you come back killing niggas,
right?
And you back on your murder shit.
Right, he's talking about fucking Brandy.
Yeah,
and shit like that. It was
and when you start, you wilding, my nigga, and then. And because again, our spirituality is our spirituality. We're at a constant yin and yang. So I get that. No judgment whatsoever. But it's like, what does that mean? What is the light you're shining on what you believe is the true essence and the true gospel? Like, so now what is that worth? Because if you claim that he made statements in his book that, he's changed his life and he will never go back, and that's dark. And I understand everyone has growth, but you were making judgmental statements. And now you're back doing the same thing. So either you're telling me what you believed was false or that your character is false. And we got to have a conversation about that. And I believe that testimony will help people. So what I'm looking forward to is the Mase that's going to come out and say, let me explain. I love God. I have a deep belief in spirituality. But my flesh yearns for women. My flesh yearns for money. My flesh yearns for attention. And I can get all of that in hip hop. I can claim that I'm going to murder this person and this nigga ain't shit. And I can say all of that stuff. But my heart is still with God. I'm waiting for Mase to say this. Because then people will say, I'm with you, my brother. I got you. I feel the same way. I was at the club on Saturday and I'm at church on Sunday. Because I'm struggling. I'm looking. I'm searching. But you gotta be careful with that. Because spirituality and spiritual warfare is real. And we've seen it all around us that when you play with God and you play with the universe and you are lukewarm and you straddling both sides of the fence, you always gonna fall. And that's not a judgment. That's just the beliefs in the ordained of how the universe. That's universal law. That's that golden ratio shit. That's that shit that where it's karma is some real shit. And karma is not what goes around comes around. Karma is when energy is transferred and you have to therefore pay for things that you put forth. Like, so that's some shit. That's some next lifetime shit. That's some shit that you're gonna have to deal with in the cosmos. And I feel like it's a great dichotomy. Like, it's something that we all struggle with. But don't push it on somebody or say, you can't come to, even like, there's no way, like, but coming through me. Like, that concept of Christianity is a flawed concept. It's a Roman Catholic pushed, we're better than you, we're elite, and, no man coming through the Father but through me. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I love all of that. But break that down and see that it's not the elite speaking. It's not saying you must choose Jesus. It's saying that there is a light and I'm a pathway through that and I can guide you through that. And that's the thing, like, when people want to talk religion, they talk religion on the surface, but they don't talk about that the religion comes from the stars. They don't talk about that this shit was designed. This is bigger than us. This is the pyramids. This is Egypt. This is Horus. This is the constellations, the story of the sun god. Like, all of these things been here way before these 2,000, 4,000 years of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for people to say, you got to be Christian, you got to be Muslim, you got to be Jewish, that's silly. All of that was created by man. You know what I mean? And misinterpreted and continue to be misinterpreted. Like, let's get to the origin of what Christ is really about and Christ consciousness. Yeah. Like, that's what people don't really, haven't really, and I study, you know what I mean? I'm still in school. I read 2-3 books a week. I just want the information. I want to continue to be enlightened. So I went deeper than the Bible. Yeah, I could quote you. I've been quoting the Bible since I was 12 years old. I was the little preacher kid at the church saying all the scriptures. But when I saw how much bullshit and lies that was, I need something else. Let me see what this Torah is talking about. Let me see what this Quran is talking about. Let me see what this Grant Sahib is talking about. Like I'm going that far and I'm being enlightened. You know what I mean? And what I'm learning is I don't know nothing. You know what I mean? And like that's really like I got every day I'm growing and learning.
I just interviewed Lecrae.
Right.
You know, who's a Christian rapper.
Yeah, we come from the same hood too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
close. He crossed the way, but like.
I mean, we had a whole conversation about, you know, Christian values and forgiveness and stuff like that. I told him, you know, one of the things that bothered me was how after the Charleston shooting, the group of black churchgoers, the survivors, got together to forgive Dylan Roof. I mean, when you look at the church culture, and I can't remember off the top of my head who I talked to this. It was either D.L. Hughley or it might have been Wesley.
Yeah.
But, you know, the one situation that we talked about was the Charleston shooting that happened, where Dylan Roof came into this church in South Carolina, killed 9 people in cold blood. And the first thing that the other church members and their families did was forgive him.
Right.
And I think it might have been Wesley. He basically felt that black people and black Christians are too forgiving.
Right.
That in a situation like that, it doesn't warrant forgiveness. Like, this is someone who just killed all these people around you, and yet you're forgiving them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
on one level, I see what he's saying. On one level of like being passive and not caring about justice and just kind of being the type of person that says, you know, it's like, hey man, I'm gonna come in your house and rape and murder your kids, and you just sit there and watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's legit. But on the other hand, I think the posture like of forgiveness it's not weakness. It's really strong if you think about it, because, you know, I'm for justice. Like, I still think he should be tried and prosecuted and whatever. But forgiveness is more so me saying, you know, I extend, like, I don't harbor anger or bitterness towards you. I don't want terrible things to happen, like vengeance, so to speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to face the consequences of your actions, but vengeance is a different thing, because at the end of the day, we all want forgiveness.
Right.
and you know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
bothered you?
it kind of bothered me, yeah.
Why?
This guy just came in and just killed everybody.
But see, you know what that is? That's even early in our interview when I was talking about how I would forgive my uncle for if he had some sexual misconduct with someone in my family. Just because, like, if you tapping into the spirit world, that you can't hate on the soul. You can't disown the soul, because souls are pure and precious. I can hate the spirit that has taken over that soul and taken over that body. I hate the negativity that Dylan Roof had, that dark demonic spirit that killed those people. I hate that, but I can pray that spirit away and really understand that there's a lost, broken, dark soul. You know what I mean? That can still be saved. Now his actions need consequences. That how it all happened, he don't need to be here no more. You know what I mean? But I believe beyond this lifetime. So I believe in transition with death. Like, he gonna have to pay for that again and again, have to figure that shit out beyond our existence.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And like I said, I go deeper than the 75 years that we're here. I believe our spirits and our souls go beyond this life.
Well, I think if someone did something to your children, I don't know how this
I'm killing them. It's over.
You know what I'm saying? So,
like, and I'm gonna go sit down and pay them consequences for killing that motherfucker. You do something to my kids, I'm going to get my guns and I'm going to shoot you. Like,
right.
Now, and I gotta pay for those. I gotta, whatever this law in this society is built, where the consequences I gotta do for my actions, I gotta pay for that. Just like he had to pay for his actions.
Yeah.
Universal law. But I still will forgive that soul and that spirit, and hopefully they'll figure it out because I released it. That's the way I had to get that out. I had to kill him. Now I forgive him.
We're good now.
We good. Just like if somebody, just like with your partner, if he say some fuck shit to you, you gonna punch him in his mouth. You still my partner, we good now. But now you know if you say that fuck shit again, you gonna get punched in your mouth. That's how life works. You do some dark, heinous shit to me, you got some dark, heinous shit coming. And we both gotta deal with how we deal with it. Yeah. It's simple as that.
Wildin' Out.
Yeah.
How many seasons now?
Season 10. We about to start season 11.
Season 10.
Yeah.
You know, I think I launched Vlad TV about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know
but see, it was like, because I took a break for marriage.
Oh, okay.
So I started it like the first time I shot, and because I shot it with my own money, it was like late 2004.
Right, because originally they didn't believe in the whole concept.
At all. And nobody believed in it. They told me I was silly for spending my own money on something like this.
How much did you spend for like the pilot, I guess?
The pilot was like a couple $100,000.
You spent a couple $100,000.
Yeah, to make a tape, to show.
Wow.
Yeah, MTV what I was talking about.
Because they just said, nah.
Yeah, they didn't get it.
And now, this is what, the most successful show on Viacom?
Yeah. For the just all the ancillary business that is built from the touring. We opening the sports bars and comedy clubs all across the country. I'm going after Dave and Buster's and Hooters. I'm trying to do that for our generation.
Okay, so are you the owner of the Wild 'N Out brand, or is MTV, or do you guys share? Or?
I own it. Obviously, there's still business is business. So Viacom is my partners in the brand. So
Okay.
But again, based off of I make all the decisions for the brand, and there's a board. Viacom is a publicly traded company, so and that's an asset within their portfolio. So it's it's valuable to the people who invest in Viacom. But Wild 'N Out brand is mine. So there, I created it, and the deals that we negotiated, in the early 2000s was in perpetuity, this is how this brand continues to make money. Nick makes the decisions and all that. So
okay.
I'm in the best place that my lawyers could put me in, because once I did put the show on MTV, they then negotiated, all right, well, we have a percentage of your brand. It's your brand, we understand that, but we're putting money in too, so therefore now we're partners.
Okay. What happened to Kodak Black on the show?
Oh, the live show. Man, first of all, I'm a fan of Kodak Black.
Me too.
100%. I love the movement, the hair, the Haitian. I love it all. I support it. I salute it. I think there was a couple of things. The way the live shows work, they're off the chain. People going crazy. And usually what we do at the end of the show, we do the wild style battle. But we do the wild style battle where we let the entire audience on the stage. And for many reasons, that's not safe for Kodak. So what we did, we was like, all right, well, we gonna do the wild style battle, then we'll clear the stage, and Kodak will come in and do the stuff. We do that with Rick Ross. We do that with everybody. Gotti, everybody who come on, we clear the stage, bring the Wild 'N Out girls, the cast on stage. Because if you got 300 people on stage in Kodak Black, people gonna be going crazy trying to we know how to handle ourselves amongst the crowd because we've been there for 2 hours. When Kodak come out, place go crazy. So in theory, we think we gonna do the wild style battle, clear the stage, and Kodak gonna come on and shut this bitch down. Kodak comes out during the wild style battle, cause he was enjoying the show. We oh shit, Kodak here. You know what I mean? And there go, just what we thought would happen. People going crazy trying to get to him and stuff. So we gotta be yo, hold on, let us clear the stage. And so that was a moment where we all right, well, where's Kodak gonna go while we clearing the stage so he can perform? So that was a real, awkward moment. And then what happened during that process, and it's all DJ D-Rec fault. He fucked it up because he was in the middle of the wild style beat, so he hadn't prepared Kodak Black's music yet. So he got to go through his DJ shit. You a DJ, I'm a DJ. We know, you got to be, oh, shit, I wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the thank you, good night. Y'all ready for Kodak? Let me get my music. He didn't have his music. He didn't have Kodak's music ready. So he didn't have the cue points ready. Mm-hmm. So Kodak start, and this D-Rec is scrambling, and he I told you to end it on this. So, and, DJ D-Rec, as much as we love him, is not Kodak Black's DJ.
Right.
So he trying to figure it out. DJ D-Rec don't know near Kodak Black song. He don't know. He trying to do his joints, and it just got awkward. And Kodak was like, man, this motherfucking TV DJ is fucking up my show. And then he just left. I ain't mad at him.
I mean, listen, he came on the Breakfast Club wearing a ski mask. So
Yeah,
I'm obviously not.
And we got out there, it's like, hey, Kodak, this is his first show off house arrest. Y'all better give it up for this motherfucker. He can be in trouble just being here. And that's why I kind of said, like, yo, y'all make some noise for my man because he came out and represented regardless of the technical difficulties. Yeah. We had a conversation afterwards, chopped it up. It's all love. But, I feel his pain. Like, he came out there to have a good time, and, DJ D-Rec fucked his shit up.
How often do guests, before they come on the show, said, I'll do it, but you can't talk about X, Y, and Z?
All the time.
All the time.
I have to have pre-calls with everyone.
Okay.
Except for the people who've been on the show for years and don't. But not with everyone, but that's only because I want people to know that we're going to be respectful for people who come on the show. Okay. And I give them that grace of, like, tell me what you don't want us to bring up. And it's even with my own shit. Like, to me, I'm tired of the fucking Mariah jokes. Just because I don't think they funny no more. Like, we got 5 seasons of Mariah. She done walked out a couple times. Like, what the fuck is going on here on the show?
Oh, she was on the show?
Yeah,
she would walk out.
They surprised me one time and all some silly shit. Like, but it's like, okay, it's enough with that. So, like, I tell the cast, and I don't say don't do it, but I'm like, all right, let's retire Mariah's jersey on this show. And even the shit like, we putting out popping music right now. Like, if I tell Conceited, nigga, you signed to me. And if you make a joke about my music, you fucking up the house money.
Oh, so Conceited signed to you?
Yeah. Okay. Conceited Hitman and Charlie Clips are signed to me.
Oh, okay. You signed battle rappers.
Yeah.
Okay.
We doing the Black Squad. Like, the Black Squad, we just put the tape out. We're going to put a tape out every month, and then we're going to put the album out. Like, showing that battle rappers can make real records, and I put my squad up against any squad. That's the other reason why I was talking shit to Eminem. And they're like, I got my team. Black Squad against Slaughterhouse, against whoever wanted. Like, they not fucking with Charlie Clips, Conceited, and Hitman Holla.
Do you feel like people don't respect your music as much as as much effort that you put into it?
It's funny, man. Like, when the music conversation, it doesn't bother me because, one, I've been producing and writing music with the best for my entire career.
Well, you wrote for Kanye.
I worked with Kanye since the beginning. Kanye was my man. He's the one that taught me it's not about ghostwriting and writing for somebody. You work with people. Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson worked together. Like, they wasn't like Marvin like, I wrote that. Like, Stevie was like nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, you making great music. Now, on some battle rap MC shit, I'll freestyle against anybody. Whoever wanted, and go toe-to-toe with, there ain't a rapper out there that I won't get in front of and freestyle against because I know I have a special ability in that world. Not scared to go bar for bar with anybody. So, therefore, if I got to make a song and Kanye write the hook, do that, my nigga. And Kanye feels the same way.
Well, you battled Kanye at one point.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, I battled Kanye. I feel like I won. I feel like I would win. I got some heat in this cannon for Kanye because it's some punchlines that he don't want to hear from me right now.
I think back in the day, I interviewed Game, and he talked about how he battled Kanye, and he said that Kanye actually beat him.
Nelly had a party at Nike Town. Everybody was there. Dr. Dre, Swizz, like just Pharrell, a bunch of stars and whatnot. And me and Kanye were kind of, rookies, whatnot. Kanye was still, servicing, his beats around, and I think he just had signed to Rockefeller. And so after the party was over, we walk into the parking structure, you know what I'm saying? Just walking, there's a bunch of chicks, a bunch of people walking and whatnot. And everybody was like, yo, Kanye, won't you battle Game? Game, won't you battle Kanye? And he spit, and it was that, that old college dropout Kanye, you know what I'm saying? He got off, you know what I'm saying? He really, did his thing. And I was impressed because I had already heard about him. I thought he was a producer. I didn't know he spit. So he got off, and then, I gave him like probably about 40 bars, just rapid fire, man. And then he came back, you know what I'm saying? He spit like 40 bars, and I took it up, and I ended up rapping for like 3-4 minutes, and everybody was oohing and eyeing, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I won, and then Kanye just bud out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, and start going in. That's one of the rap battles, one of the only rap battles that I lost, man, but I was still on my way up, you know what I'm saying? And Kanye was already signed, man. I wasn't even signed yet, so, we had that rap duel.
But Kanye's nice, but I'm nicer, Like when it comes to a rap one-on-one, like we sit, and that's the thing. He came on Wild Out and he watched the whole team, and he's one of the best to ever come on Wild Out. And he's actually was the first one to create like, I'm gonna stop this and just rhyme about everybody.
Oh, Kanye did Wild Out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have missed
early
that one.
on, like
early.
Kanye
Okay.
did Wild Out 2 or 3 times.
Early on. Okay.
Yeah. And hey, Kanye, we welcome you back anytime. Come get this work. I want that smoke. But you scared, you don't want it.
Well, you said that, I mean, you consider Kanye a lyricist,
100%.
but you don't consider Drake a lyricist.
What I said, and first of all, disclaimer, I'm the biggest fan of Drake.
Me too.
And his music. I think one of the reasons Drake hasn't been on Wild 'N Out, we've had the conversation. I think it's scary for these rappers because they're about a persona, they're about an image. You put Drake on some like one-on-one let's go shit, he gotta go back to the studio. Like,
Right. You gotta pull out the BlackBerry.
Yeah, he gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
That's dope. You're a certain type. There's tons of different type of jazz musicians. Okay. You know what I mean? Like Dizzy Gillespie is gonna do some different shit than Miles Davis.
So you and Drake were on the phone talking about him.
It was in person.
In person.
Yeah.
We're talking about doing Wild 'N Out.
He was like, yo, I can't get on the show. I was like, of course you can get on the show. Come get this. Like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, well, we gonna talk. I'm like, let's go. Let's get
But
it.
it never happened.
We've had several conversations like that. And the only reason why I could feel like, yo, that real rapping is all about your image. And if you standing up there and you ain't secure in your shit and somebody say some fly shit and you gotta come back, most cats ain't built like that. And that's real MCing. That's real rap. That's what hip hop is about. Now, what Drake is doing is musical. He's an amazing artist. And that's the thing, I wouldn't say he's not a lyricist because bar for bar, and I believe he wrote all of them, 4 a.m., 6 a.m.s, and all. That shit is incredible.
Yeah.
But if you put Drake in front of me right now and say, yo, let's start rapping right now, he's lost. Kanye, he not lost with that. Eminem, he not lost with that. Vic Mensa, A$AP Rocky, Sci-Hi the Prince, we about to go bar for bar.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, I grew up with, that's what I grew up with. I grew up in the lunchroom. I got a 16 written on my notebook paper, but I'm not even going to go to that because I'm about to talk about your shoes. I'm about to talk about your hat. I'm about to talk about you ain't getting no pussy. I'm about to talk about all of that off the top of my head. And then if you want to hear some shit I wrote, I'm going to give you that too. Matter of fact, I'll probably start off with that because I know that by heart. But then I'm going to switch in and out. And that's real MCing. These kids, they don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even hear Drake doing a freestyle at the show. Yeah. I mean, whatever he does at a show, you heard on the album.
Yeah.
You know all the words.
It's about to come out.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I love, because again, not only am I MC, but I'm also a singer-songwriter. And that craft set is more difficult for me than writing and freestyling rap music. I've been doing that I've been doing both all my life, but for some reason, the gift of words and wordplay and all that stuff has been super easy to me. Sitting down and making a hit record, there's a reason why when you see the Grammy Awards or you read them liner notes, it's 9 and 10 writers on a song. Because it's not easy to do. Yeah. Drake is an amazing songwriter. He's an amazing artist. He's not an amazing MC. MCing is a different thing. Unless he wants to prove it to me or all of these new kids, what they do, they not MCing. They're facades, they're fictitious characters, they got interesting teeth and wardrobe and hair and tats on their faces, and it's amazing. I love it. I sign up for it, I'll go to your concert, but you're not an MC. And that's fine. Don't be that. You still hip hop. You still in the culture. You are the culture. But this real shit, this Cold Crush Brothers in the park, like this Busy Bee shit, y'all not that.
Right.
And y'all would never be that until so don't claim to be an MC when you're not. It's just as simple as that. It's interesting if you watch like the battle rap of today and like the battle raps of like when Rhyme Fest and Eminem was going, they was freestyling.
Yeah.
Like Eminem was freestyling if you see that tape. You know what I mean? Like that's real, like that's a talent. That's some next level shit to be able to come off the top of the dome and say some shit about what's going on.
Oh, you know, back in the day, I remember there was this huge buzz over Supernatural.
Right.
Remember, because he was able to rap and incorporate things from the crowd and the person and everything.
And that's what we doing Wildin' Out. Like that's a real craft. And like even those young cats that's still doing it, like the King Loses and you know what I mean? Like those cats you like, or you know, when you go on Sway, which they still won't let me on Sway because I think of the Eminem beef. Fuck is that? Like, she's like, that's why I still like some fuck shit. But the Sway's my man. But you know, like
it is what it is.
But I love when he does what is it? The five
fingers of death freestyle.
Like,
that shit is dope.
And I'm paying attention. Like, all right, they're just doing this one verse that they wrote differently when they changed the beat, or somebody who's really like, I wasn't mad at Shia LaBeouf. Like, cause he was freestyling. Like, he came in there and like he was mixing shit he wrote, mixed in, and like that's like he was emceeing at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but most cats can't do that. That's why they scared to go on Sway Show, or they be like, yo, I'm a rap, but I'm not gonna do the 5 fingers of death shit. Like, why? Like, come get, or even when you watch, you know, Flex, like, that's different than too, like, cause those dudes are up there spitting bars that they wrote, that they memorized, they get their bars together, and they go. I salute that too. That's emceeing, but there's always levels to it.
Right. I mean, because I know Flex gives dudes like a month head start.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit gets booked early.
Right.
Because I've had rappers, I'm not going to say who it is, but they went on Flex and killed it. And then I invited them on Vlad TV because we were doing freestyles at one point.
Yeah,
still do them, and they couldn't even pull it off. We had to
Yeah.
literally scrap the entire freestyle to not make the person look bad.
Nah, because again, like, there's no secret to that. It's all bells and whistles. This is entertainment. You know what I mean? And they got A&Rs and writers and people like, oh, I got to get this. I need a month. You know what I mean? I'm going to go memorize it. I'm going to say it every day. So when I get up there, I'm going to body it. And now you got more fans because you bodied it on Flex. Where real MCs keep an arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, because I just interviewed Oxymoron.
Okay.
You know who that is?
Well,
it's one of the biggest rappers from Russia.
Oh, okay.
And he just battled Disaster.
Oh, word.
And he rapped in English.
And in Russian.
And I think in German
okay.
as well, because he lived there for a while.
Oh, wow.
And we had an interest, and this is actually, you know, you'll get a kick out of this one. He is actually the most viewed battle rapper in the world.
Really?
He has over 100 million views.
I mean, you need to get him on Wildin' Out.
Yeah, I'm in contact with him. Yeah, no, he's dope. To some of the numbers on your battles, and I guess, I mean, you said this yourself, that you're actually the most viewed, your battles are the most viewed battles
in the world
altogether in the world.
Yeah.
So you've actually gotten more views than all the established US battle rappers.
That's right, yeah.
Like, how's that even possible? Because, I mean, Russia has a lot of people.
Yes, yeah. But so does the US, and more people speak English than they speak Russian.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the US has a lot of people, and more people in the world speak English than they speak Russian. So you have a bigger audience.
Yeah.
You know, for example, I mean, you got Canada, you got the UK.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
people in Germany speak English. Like, it goes on and on.
Let me break it down for you. So I think there's a few reasons for that. The main reason, I think, is what I just mentioned. You know, I'm an industry artist who is battling. So imagine, I mean, you have examples in the West. You know, Cassidy battled, Cannabis battled, you know, a few small artists like Mad Child from Canada, and, you know, a few artists did, Joe Budden, right? A few people did. But no one that's really sort of first, second echelon, right? So imagine you would have a battle where Drake would be battling Kendrick. How many views would that get? That would definitely get more views than, I mean, not definitely, but probably more views than their most recent videos, because you already have all the people following them and everyone on the outside. Plus you have the element of, you know, conflict and competition, which just adds further interest on top. I'm by no means comparing myself to any of these, you know, great artists. All I'm saying is that within the context of Russian rap, you know, I am probably by now, I don't know, one of the top 3 artists in terms of, you know, concert crowds and views, etc., etc. So that's why when I go into a battle, we get those crazy views. And I mean, the biggest one I have, I think, is 40 million views, you know, and that's actually more views than my biggest video.
Yo, that's what I've been trying to do for years. Like, I've been trying to design that platform to where it's like, you want to see Eminem versus whoever at the time. You want to see Drake and Meek or Big Sean and Kendrick. Who wouldn't pay all the money in their bank to see that? You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, I was there for the Cassidy disaster battle.
Right.
And originally, the one on stage didn't work out because of timing issues.
Yeah.
So they had to do it in a garage.
Yeah.
In I think Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And the energy of that, it was all a bunch of dudes in a circle. You know,
Right.
guys and girls were all in a circle
Right.
watching this. You know, I'm right there in the middle of it, and it was one of the greatest hip hop experiences ever to see Cassidy
Right.
essentially beat Disaster in his
Right.
own game.
Right,
You
right.
know, because you figure Cassidy, yeah, you know, he was cool back in the day. Nah.
Right. Nah, I remember when Cassidy and Freeway,
And Freeway,
and
right,
Jay-Z
exactly.
put up the money
But
for Freeway.
but if you
Swizz
think
put up
about
Cassidy,
it,
like, that's real hip hop.
That's the biggest artist to do an actual battle.
Is it?
I mean, I guess Joe Budden did the battle.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but I guess music-wise,
That's salute to him. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, we want to see that, man. Like, I remember, like, cause Drake was toying with it for a moment, like, but
Drake's not gonna battle.
I mean, Drake is definitely gonna go down in history as one of the greatest.
Yeah.
But that would make him the greatest.
Right,
if he
but
did that.
Drake's not gonna battle. Kendrick is not gonna battle, even though he did back in the day.
Yeah, they could do it too,
Meek
man.
did it back in the day. He not gonna battle. Kanye
Kanye
probably battle somebody if you catch him in the right.
Kanye, I will battle you. If you want it, come get this smoke. Like, but it's for the culture, man. Like, and that's because I know I'm signed battle rappers. I know the culture. You know, like, they take what they do. They pick their opponent. They get a couple of weeks to do their rounds.
Oh yeah.
Who like our great artists can do that? If we know we gonna battle in a month, we gonna go back. We gonna go to work. We gonna bring the bells and the whistles and the pageantry, and it's gonna be a good time. Let's get to it.
I think people just feel like if they take that L, because, you know, to be fair, look what happened in cannabis. It was a train wreck.
Well, you got to be ready for it. And again,
Right.
I guess because I'm fearless in that idea, like, I know about self-deprecation and self-deprecating humor. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I built a lot of my career off of. So, like, I used to be on the road with Dave Chappelle, and every time I come out there, it, boo! Fuck Nick Cannon. Like, that's how the fucking shit started. Like,
Wait, you were on the road with Dave Chappelle.
yeah. Oh, man.
Opening up for him.
Opening up for Dave. It was the height of the Chappelle show.
Oh, okay.
And you remember he used to do all of the jokes. Like, he did a whole skit called Fuck Nick Cannon. Everywhere I went for that year was Fuck Nick Cannon. And Dave, that's my man. That's big bro. So I'm on the road with him doing shows. And right when I step out, the crowd is happy to see me. But the first thing they say is, fuck Nick Cannon. And gladly, you know, when he came out, all they screamed at him was, I'm Rick James, bitch. So
Right.
we had to learn to maneuver at all of these college shows to where you got to deal with a rowdy ass crowd. Like, you want that. What you gonna do? How do you turn that crowd? How do you go like, all right, boo my ass, boo your mama, motherfucker, like, and show that I'm built for this. Like, this some real shit, and you know, like, on the road with Chappelle, on the road with Mike Epps, like, when you on the road with them type of cats, you gotta come with that heat. So maybe that's the comic in me that, like, I ain't scared of no booze and no fucking battle rap shit. Like, fuck that. Like, them booze ain't in my bank account. Like,
Right.
I'ma still have this bread. I'ma still have these chicks. Like, so I'm not worried about the opinion of y'all booze.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna use it and use that energy to bring it back at you.